So I would like to grow a beard.
Yeah.
Do you have tips for?
If you're growing a beard, especially if you've never done it before, everybody's going to go through frustrating stages. Same thing if you're growing your hair out. I mean, like, look how freaking long my hair's gone now. I had it like a Viking cut. This was all buzz. It took a year and a half for all this underneath. And I'm still going to let it go. I'm reliving my 70s youth. But with this long, I can still pull it back and make it look kind of old school. But yeah, you go through stages bugging the hell out of me. Same thing with the beard. The guys, oh, it's itchy. I'm like, well, you get past that stage. And the best thing, I always tell guys, just leave it alone for a little while and come and see me. And then we'll see what we do. You might be able to have a full beard. Maybe you can't. Maybe you'll have a different type of beard. You know, there's only Mother Nature. You can only do so much, but you might be surprised if you just let it go. And even with some thin spots, sometimes they will continue to grow, or we may have to go back later like, yeah, it ain't going to happen on that. We got to modify this. Now, one thing I tell guys, because they a lot of times want to trim under here.
I don't.
No.
Right?
No.
No.
Because most guys, the beards aren't that thick. I mean, mine's not near as thick as it might look sometimes. But I don't cut any of that. I need that hair. Now, some guys, their beards make mine look like I don't have anything, and then mine's thicker than other guys. There's a guy, I'll show you a picture later. He's met him in Dusseldorf at the barber convention. He's a professional beard model, but he models constantly. His is down to here, and it is thick, down to there, yeah, mine's never gonna, I cut this much off of mine a few weeks ago because it gets really scraggly. Sometimes I don't care because I'm putting beads and stuff in mine if I feel like more of a Viking mood. But now that it's getting longer, or it sounds funny that I model sometimes, but if I'm doing something, if it's going to be fashionable or something, I'm going to neaten everything up, if I want, like, especially if some of the crap I get a little ticked, I'm like, I'm my Viking, my inner Viking and stuff. So, I've got my beads and all that kind of stuff. I'm not so worried about it. But the thing is, don't cut any of this. Let it go, because you can always cut it off. But you got to get through those stages to see what it'll do, And also depending on your age. Some of the younger guys, like mine was always a little thin here. And as I've gotten older, all that kind of filled in. It may or may not on some people. But beards grow in sections. So a lot of guys can have thin spots between the sideburn and the beard. A lot of them can here. Everybody's going to have growth patterns. Yeah. Hardly anybody has a perfect beard. One side, just like your hair can lean in, lay more to the other. And then it depends, if you want a long one or not. And it's fitting it to your head shape, to your hairstyle. I've got a big round head. So if I didn't have a beard and if I lost my hair, it'd look like a freaking pumpkin on my shoulders or something. So before I had the beard, I'd had beards in my life, never like this long until about 6 years ago. But I always had a goatee because I got a big round head, and I always had to have some height up here because the optimum shape you're really going is kind of like an oval. Mm-hmm. And as the beard's gotten long, I don't need much height up here. Actually, sometimes if it's too much, I look like some big African mask or something. From here to here, Yeah. So you got to modify things. But the main thing is just let it grow. Stop back by. We'll take a look at it and see. And then a lot of guys too, when they get the beards, they get frustrated because they haven't kept it up and the haircut up. I always tell them, like, before you cut it off, get a fresh cut and a beard trim, and it's going to make it. But if you just keep going, like, if I really don't do anything to my hair and I don't do it, you start looking homeless. And I'm probably the last guy in the crowd they're going to pick to be the barber. But if I style it up and I do stuff, then, it looks like you give a damn. And for me, without looking like you give too much of a damn, to each their own, but some of the stuff is so primpy and stuff. Yeah. Not my thing at all. I can do it, although I would just soon somebody else do it. That's a different, cultural or ethnic or just style that somebody likes. I like more natural, well groomed but natural. And even if you're wearing product in your hair, it doesn't look like you're wearing product in your hair and stuff like that, with the beards, let it grow, and then just see because again, once you got to those certain stages, then you can always remove.
Does mine pass? Because for the last year, I'm doing it in the mirror, and I think this part is kind of
that part's the tricky part,
and this kind of thing
there. I think the thing there is to kind of just keep it the part you're going to have a hard time yourself is getting this line.
Yeah.
You know, and you could maybe get a 3-way mirror and do it. You know, if you got a girlfriend, you could always kind of teach her a little bit.
All right.
But the main thing is, yeah, touching some certain areas up, and other areas you just need to wait and have a barber do, because once it's gone, again, especially with the long beard, you've taken a chunk out of it. But no, you got to get thick beard. Most guys, you know, some guys can wear it fuller out here, but most, I think it's better when it's trimmed in. And it can be pointier, it can be square, it can be rounded, you know. Again, depending on your face shape and the type of beard and how long you want it, you know. Mine, like I said, when I want to style it more, I block it, which makes it look even thicker, because this is a nice solid line. And also, since mine's white, it looks much better on a black t-shirt.
Yeah, okay.
You know, now if I've got a white shirt on, it looks thin, and it doesn't look, you know. So there's certain things that you kind of play with as well. But main thing is taking care of it. I mean, like, good products on it. Same thing with the hair on your head. And it's also not just the hair, it's the health of your scalp and the health of your skin. You know, like, guys, I'm like, you need to be brushing that beard, not just for the hair, but it stimulates the natural oil in your skin, which hydrates the skin and feeds the hair. Okay. You know, just like if you got a cat or dog, if you brush them, how much softer does their coat feel after, because you've stimulated all that oil in the skin.
So the brush is really important. I only use a comb. No,
the comb, you can shape it, and you also want to get the knots out of it. You know, you start getting these little knots and stuff. Like, I actually have a pick too. I'll pull some of those knots out, you know, and then I use comb and brush. You know, I use brush a lot, and also when I'm styling. Some days I'll style it more than
because
others,
you don't have half an hour in the morning. Sometimes it takes half an hour.
And you don't want to, you know, you don't need to shampoo it every day, because the hair is drier, you know, and here in Prague, the water's hard. So it means it has a high pH, like 9.5. Your hair and skin are acidic. They're 5.5. Water here is highly alkaline. There's high mineral and calcium content, all which is drying to your hair and skin. Then during the winter, you got gas heat. Unless you have a humidifier, that's very drying, you know. And then, like, I have to watch, even my eyebrows and shit will start drying out and flaking and stuff, especially as a barber. Anybody doesn't look good with white flakes and stuff. But needs to be good quality products. You need to keep it all moisturized. You know, you start itching a little bit. You know, you want to scratch. Obviously, it lifts it up. I love a hot shower. Okay. Well, the hot water really dries your skin out more. Okay. And then you get in there and scrub. That lifts that dead skin off, which is going to come off later, you know. Okay. So, yeah, just using some good oil or balm. You don't have to have a ton of products, and it doesn't have to be super expensive. Like the Angry Beard stuff is very reasonable. But now I did discover, especially when I started working on some of these things, certain oils cost a lot more. Yeah. You know, and yeah, you got to reflect that in the price. But at very least, get some good coconut oil, pure coconut oil or something. You know, oil's oil. You know, you could use extra virgin olive oil. Obviously, it's going to smell a little bit like extra virgin olive oil, though. So, you know, depends on who you're with. Might be good.
Do you blow dry it after you apply the oil?
I do. Yeah, and see, and actually, you want that oil or the balm in first, because the heat will work that into the hair shaft. So your hair is going to absorb that. So it's actually going to be healthy. If you're using a lot of heat and you're not doing any of that, you're going to dry the hair out even more. Okay. It's just like the hair on your head. You know, if it's shorter, you're not going to notice the damage as much, because it's constantly being cut off. If you want it longer and you want it healthy, you need to keep that in mind, you know. So again, it doesn't have to be a ton of products, but you want good quality shampoo. You could use the same one on your head for most people. If people have longer hair and it's like a thin or oily, their beard's still probably going to be drier and coarse. So you might want a different shampoo and a different beard. But you could just use a beard shampoo or a shampoo for dry hair for your beard and your hair. But the products, again, I tell people, hey, you don't have to buy mine. You could buy somebody else's, but you want a professional product because the ingredients are higher quality. And it's concentrated, so you have to use that much. The stuff in the drugstore is not the same quality, and you have to use quite a bit of it. And when you start looking at the bottom line on the price, a lot of times it's not that much difference. But you'll notice the difference when you're using it and stuff. Just like, again, the oil that I developed with Angry Beards. I get comments on that constant. Guys like, wow, it's actually thicker. It does what I need. It helps.
I'm so excited to try it.
Yeah, and it comes with a beard bead. So you get a beard bead.
Really? As well?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you get to get reminded of me every time you open that thing because you got my pretty face
wow.
inside the box. Or you just leave the box in the apartment, and you won't have to worry about any mice or anything. My picture will scare them away.
And this works like just put it inside?
Yeah, like what you'll do is you'll take your hair and then you'll kind of bend it over and slide it up. And since that's a bigger and a heavier one, you need a good bit of hair to do it, And then, but you got enough beard. Like one of those pictures, I've got maybe even that one. I got 3 of them in it for one of the photo shoots. Yeah, just twist it. Fold over the bottom of it and slide it up, and once you've done it a few times, you'll get it down. It's
like contact lenses, huh?
Yeah, But you could also use, like, obviously not everybody's getting that has a beard long enough for beads and stuff. And again, that's a heavier bead. But let's tell the guys you always have like a bracelet thing or something. It's like the Cracker Jack box. I told them when they did it, I'm like, look, I want to put something in there, and like I said, so like a beard bead. It's like a little extra, little bonus you get.
Yeah, that's very nice. It's always about the little extra, right?
Yeah.